All right. Very nice. Do 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 do. Boop 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 boop. What it do? What it do? What it do? What's good, everybody? What up, Martin? Yeah, hopefully. I want to get the basics down of like, what the end game build looks like for everything, and just kind of have them there, and then figure it out. What up, Forrest Gun? How we doing, Chalet? Your PoE burnt out? I'm not so much PoE burnt out. It's just Campfire chat is tomorrow, so we you know I gotta get stuff down. I guess we start off with the guides I have. So let's do. Yeah, we could just kind of go from scratch. Let's do no, Ebon Piercer. There we go. Start with Evan Piercer. Evan Piercer boots? That makes sense. What do I think that they're going to change? Alter the balance is going to have to be changed. I'm not exactly sure in which direction, but it just will have to be. It's unplayable. The servers cannot hold it up. So I see that happening. Let's make a new folder. Call this Season 10. Go to Season 10. Call this Blight. Blight felt really good. Blight Necromancer. All right, let's put this together real quick. We will want this. Boop, boop, boop. Beast Cornered. This will be, what's it called? Mod God. Mod God. Crazy Brew is pretty good. Yeah, Crazy Brew is pretty good. And then, I mean, probably just Accelerating Chaos, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, what up, Tim? Rocks of Blig, yeah, I got these at the Renaissance Fair, and I really, really, really like them. They are just these, like, over-the-ear little guys. And the drip is just crazy. I realize the front of my hand is a little bit... Yeah, there you go. They're just like, whatever. I picked these up from one of the craftspeople. And they just pop on like that. And I've been feeling very peak with them on, so... Campfire chat tomorrow, yes. What up, Joker? How we doing? New ideas for new unique items that we can discuss? Any idea for new unique items that we can discuss? No, I'm currently doing theory crafting for Season 10 PTR. So I'm not particularly interested in having purely hypothetical conversations. Ahu Axe still on the table here. Yes, yeah. Ahu Caxes. I mean, we're still doing Ahu Cax. Oh, I have to fit 2 on though. Do I? Yeah, I do. A little bit of life, some Yopas. A bit of Yopas. We don't care about gloves so much. Do we care about pants at all? No, right? So what would I rather lose? Gloves or pants? Oh, and technically speaking, Fists of Fate, right? Well, no, I don't want Fists of Fate. Well, no, technically Fists of Fate. No, because I have Blood Moon Breaches. Yeah, I don't really need Fists of Fate. Technically, Fists of Fate is a thing? I don't know. I don't like adding Fist of Fate to builds, to be quite honest. We need Cursed Aura. That could go in either. Maybe adjust the giant head down? Maybe. See, this is why I can't even think of anything. I just have to think about nothing but this. And we... Oh, no, I need... I need the... Damage over time can crit. Okay. We need to move Evan Piercer down. I could use... I don't think we have mana regen for that. No, we do, because we still have Bloodless Scream. Alright, I'm going to put Bloodless Scream right here. Right now. What up, Alfalfa? How are we doing? I need Cursed Aura somewhere. I don't technically need it. Might be worth remembering that. Okay. Can you help me to better understand what the warning is there? Like, I'm looking at a character that theoretically has triple masterworked on, like, mythic gear? So I think this person has Grand Topaz. That they won't be accessible until endgame and torment farming. I'm also making a Summoner Necromancer build that will be updated. Yes. Yeah. Can I expect to use them for leveling? Well, yeah. Well, this guy has mythics on. Do you mean for me, or are we just kind of like saying it into the crowd? Not sure what thing we should be considerate of. This person has perfect gear. Lassaman, thank you very much for the follow. What is going to be the strongest for Season 10? Spins that crowd? Okay. What's going to be the strongest for Season 10? Nobody knows. We're going to get the updated patch notes tomorrow. Hack speed. I don't think that you need to put crit chance on this guy. I think we're doing damage over time. Our pants are losing maximum life. Our boots don't have maximum life. We might need maximum life on this guy. Corrupting damage. Nope. Shadow damage over time. Soul Rift duration? No, corpse tendril size. It's the only place where we can get it. Does damned go on the amulet? Is sacrificial? Guess a little bit depends on how much. Might not remember that when looking at the guides. Well, you can't put anything into this slot that isn't... Like, you have a unique power slot. So you would only have a power in this if you had acquired one. It's not like they could do something else in this slot. There's nothing really to be conscious of so much. I guess just like understanding how the game works is important. But also our guides go from a starter set all the way up to perfect gear. I'm just gonna put damned here just because I don't need to be sitting here thinking about it for so long, but I'm trying to figure out what am I gonna put on the amulet. It might be damned. Oh, here was a thing that I was thinking about recently. Is this much intelligence actually as good as just some additive damage? That is a fucking question. Let's look at an example. Well, this season especially? No, because I'm finally going to have percentage in up here. Actually, this is like a really, really good question to answer. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to answer that question. Actually, we're going to take a quick little detour. Season 9, Blight. Let's talk about it. This character has a metric ton of... Oh my god, how do I solve armor? I don't know, man. It's all wibbly wobbly right now. We'll figure it out. So, this character. They have 3183 and... Let me just, we should always have a spreadsheet for it. Int 3183. Additive. Don't bold this. Additive. Real quick. 3.7. Hey, what's going on, Rosanas? Thank you. I appreciate that. That's kind of you to say. 309. 188.1. 5.2. 373.5. 104. Equal to 87.5 multiplied by 0.35. Is equal to the sum of this. So this is equal to this. Okay, so actually this is equal to 1 plus this divided by 800. And this is equal to 1 plus this. Okay, this is a truth. If I get rid of this stat, 3183, I'll go down to 225. Uh, 2555. Very significant. And that's 50 more. Okay. So I add 21. This minus this. And we add on 145. So this is 220. Okay. Which is equal to this multiplied by this. And from 26 to 28 is less than going from 4.19 to 4.97. That makes sense. But what about... Hold on now. What about... So, flip it and reverse it. Still. In the next season, maybe that is not true. But this is getting close. This is getting, like, very close. Going to give us a tour of the setup. That's a cool Diablo pick behind you. So what happens if... so I have Chalet, actually, already. So doing it again, be a little bit weird. But I did record it, and I was thinking about putting it up. So what happens if I blight, boots, gloves, helmet? You can't. You can only equip one of any unique. So you can't have, like, 3 of the same Chaos unique. Yo, what up, Shadow? How we doing? Shadow damage over time, and Blight cast twice. Blight cast twice plus this is enough. Okie dokie. Got there. Blight. Now, do I want to fit Cursed Aura? Or do I just want this to be Tamwat? I think I just want this to be Tamwat. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, I was gonna edit it out, and I was just like, I don't know, man. I think this is funnier. I think it's funnier to do it this way. Boop. 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 I realized that I can save myself a lot of effort right now. Armor is good here. Damage over time is good here. Lucky hit chance is good here. Attack speed. Maybe maximum life. Kind of figure this out as we go. Okay. Save myself some time. Save myself some time. People are going to be playing Blight and be like, why am I not investing into core skills? Great question. Why aren't you? Do I need the crit chance? Ooh. Probably. Empty socket here. We don't get any socketables. So these are going to end up being these. For the ring bearer. Attack speed, boop, boop. And then probably maximum life here too. Stacking maximum life is going to be hard. Damage over time. Oh, you can also get resistances on your rings, can't you? You can. For this... as time goes on, can you say that you feel comfortable explaining PoE like you do Diablo? I think I have a fairly decent grasp of the underlying systems of PoE now. The things that I'm missing out on are experience in the ultra endgame, experience in trading, and experience with endgame crafting. So I think there'll be a lot of places where I'd go, well, based on my experience, that doesn't really seem important. Somebody would be like, well, actually, this thing is important here. So I would need my Path of Exile knowledge to approach my Diablo 2 knowledge, where actually I think I know significantly more complicated things about Diablo 2 than I do even about Diablo 4. So I would need my knowledge to approach Diablo 2 for me to really feel comfortable telling people X is better than Y. I think I could work my way through most builds and come out with a competent build. Like if you just tell me this thing works, I'd be like, oh, okay, and then make a build around it. But I'm not there yet. No, I do not believe that I'm comfortable enough to say that I'm there yet. I will be. I'm enjoying the game. Unless they just never do anything about endgame just kind of being nothing. It's so weird. The whole game seems incredibly weighted towards, well, once you get to the end game and you really start doing stuff, then you're cooking. And to me, it feels like, and this is going to be a bold statement, maximizing in PoE 2 feels even less consequential than maximizing in Diablo 4. And that's wild. That's a wild reality. You can maximize 1,000 times more in Path of Exile than you can in Diablo 4. I just don't know that it matters. Like, I saw somebody rolling like 600 divine orbs worth of bows to try to get a third socket on a bow to like add in 3% damage. But that doesn't make you do anything in the game better or faster. And I think that's really interesting. So we definitely want sacrificial somewhere in here. Oh yeah, we're super over attack speed cap now that I think about it, actually. I guess that's good. Sacrificial definitely doesn't go on the amulet. Humbreaker just showed off his scepter and it's cracked. It's just absolutely insane. Terror? I guess? Do I need total armor? No. Yeah, I'm going to be fine on armor. Okay. Ultimate cooldown? Is ultimate cooldown even the play? Oh no, I'm going to need movement speed. Oh my god, are we doing movement speed? No, I have 1,000 ranks of Reaper's Pursuit. Holy shit. But other builds, we might be. Like what else? I mean, you could put armor here. You could definitely put armor. You know, like we do damage over time. Right? And then what else do you put here? Corpse Tendrils duration? Blight size. For the end game. But what do we put as an aspect? Not what's it called? I hate that. Creeping Death. It just means you don't have an aspect on for the vast majority of the boss fight. Great Feast. People will hate dealing with Great Feast. But we could put Great Feast here. Yeah, Great Feast is a good pull. We could put Damned here. It's gonna be so rough. Like, if you do not have Bloodless Scream, you just have to be using Resource Gen. Explaining this season is going to be so hard. Explaining this season is just going to be impossible. I've just accepted that and moved on with my life. Okay. Save that. It's just going to be so nutty. I don't really need either of these points, but less blood. The only way to get blood orbs. That's taken care of. Affliction. How much crit do we need? We need a decent amount of crits. Okay. Okay. Lucky hit chance, sure. Okay. From the PTR said this was going to be easy. What, explaining builds? No. There's no universe where I said that. If I did, I was in another galaxy. You want to use Bloodwave? Yeah, Bloodwave will be a good build. Even if you don't have Alter the Balance, Bloodwave is still a good build. Okay. What up, Graham? I do think I want to reinvestigate my assumptions about glyph placement. I don't know exactly how to do that, but I would like to look at it. I have some strong opinions about where they go. I'm just not sure that they're correct. Here, I could put myself up here during this. Five and three. 5 and 3. 5 and 3. 5 and 3. So none of this matters. Gravekeeper. This is where I start to have strong thoughts. Time's Campfire chat tomorrow? It's a great question. Like noon or 1 typically? Sorry. Get verified to stand out and get boosted reply reach. Fuck you, Twitter. How about get bent? Uh, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, I'm just having very big thoughts about where to put stuff. Then we still have to use... Blood begets blood. Sucks. I also want to use Sacrificial, and I want to use Eliminator. So then... Oh, huh. I don't like that at all. I think I just ignore this. Yeah, I do. Then Frailty becomes Sacrificial. Yeah. Okay. Yes. 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 I don't need all this attack speed, though. In the end game. Huh. Oh no, I'm Blight. Hold on. Boop, 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 boop. Blight, boop, 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 boop. I could do it this way. Boop, boop, boop. Still Sacrificial? Hmm. Okay. 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 What do you do with the other 30 points? That, I guess. That. I'm like super... I'm rezzed out of my gourd. Armored out of my gourd. I don't even need all this resin armor. Good build. Strong build. Good strong build. Hmm. Yeah, it's just a good strong build. Oh, do I want to give them... I don't. The question was going to be Blood Mist. I think maybe you do just have to run Blood Mist. I don't know, man. For pit pushing, you just kind of don't. Like, for pit pushing, you just don't run it. That's kind of okay. All these dead points for nothing. I hate it. Yeah. That... And you just pick up a bunch of intelligence, right? So it's actually this... Wait, how do I normally do this? Oh, yeah, then you don't need this. Okay. You could do that. Old school D2 here, but besides the general Necro, what was the other major build? Was it Poison Over or Bone Spirit? They always ran for Necro. So the minion build for Necro really wasn't a minion build, it was Corpse Explosion, right? You just had a bunch of minions there to protect you. And then your Mercenary and Corpse Explosion did all the damage. That's what the Fishymancer was. Although people thought it was a minion build, it really wasn't. That's why things like Beast were very silly on it. But yeah, so you ran Poison Nova, which was also a Corpse Explosion build. Bone Spirit was really only for PvP. You could do Bone Spear. The issue with Bone Spear, though, is that there aren't a lot of great ways to scale it because you can't really reduce magic resistances. There just aren't a lot of monsters with high magic resistance, and there's very few immune monsters. So it was really flavors of Corpse Explosion, with one of them also having Poison Nova as part of it, where, ironically enough, all of those minions actually made your Poison Nova significantly worse. Because anytime that your minions hit, your poison wasn't dealing damage. But Poison Nova, Fishymancer, which is Corpse Explosion, and then Bone Spear are like things you could do realistically. What are the hot builds for Season 10? If they change nothing, a lot. Like a lot of builds are, you know, quote unquote looking hot for Season 10. So, Bone Spear did 113 plus, Bone Storm did 116, Minions did 111, Bone Spirit did 105, Shard Spirit did 117, Bloodwave did 117, Shadowblight did 120 plus, Dot Bloodwave did 113, Sever did 100, Blight did like 103, probably like 105, and then the Blood builds suck. But Minions, Bone Spear, Bloodwave, Shadowed Spirit, Shadowblight. The quote-unquote hot ones. Is this PTR again? No. So tomorrow we're having the Campfire chat. Well, they'll be discussing the patch notes for Season 10 post-PTR. So we're going to have a really good idea of what builds look like in the PTR. We're going to be able to synthetically imagine what it's going to look like with these patch notes, and then be able to, you know, structure the builds to the best of our ability of Theorycraft, put out updated tier lists, put up updated build guides, etc. So that's what we're going to be starting on tomorrow. So I have to have all these builds kind of prepped so that we can get them started. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I just want to have mine ready. This is 2. People hate that it's not maxed out. They're just wrong. Yeah. Okay. So this is save. Let's call these what these are. Called hit push. Let's call this full board. Okay, save. So that's Blight. Probably have a skill tree down here. Yeah. What up, Daddy? How you doing? So what I've seen, a lot of players were going boot slot for the Chaos Unique, so this is gonna reduce our movement speed in a lot of builds. Yeah. Yep. The Necromancer has gone slower and clunkier and stronger. If you use the Chaos Armors. No two ways around it, I'm not gonna lie to you. It really sucks. Like, I sincerely don't like it. Subo, damage over time, damage over time. Then just, I'm gonna go right here. Bastion. Light. Every once in a while you're getting some unstoppable. Huh. 11k life is pretty good. Oh, buddy. So that's Blight. If you're explaining Paragon to your friend and you want to help them better understand it, I would highly recommend my Diablo Academy video. Does it come up if I just search Diablo Academy? It sure does. Hell yeah, brother. Armor as I need. I only need. Please? Thank you. This is what I recommend. Blood Rush coming in season 11? Probably not, but, you know, it'd be cool if we got anything. What build would you recommend for farming hordes in season 10 for the Necromancer? It kind of depends on how aggressive you want to be. Minions are always good because they kind of just like shoot everything all the time. Another really good one would be something like a Bone Spear. You kind of just like sit in the middle and fire off everywhere. Blight is typically pretty good. Blood Surge often is very good, but Blood Surge is like really weak walking into this season, so I don't really recommend building into a build that just sucks. Shattered Spirit should be pretty good as well. Shattered Spirit might actually be like really, really, really good. So it's like a Bone Spirit build, but you do all your damage with the Bone Splinters from Shattered Spirit, and you just kind of infinitely cast it, and you just fire them off 1,000,000 times per second. It's pretty good. Probably going to be playing Bone Storm or Blight. Oh, yeah. Oh, and if Alter the Balance isn't changed at all, Bone Storm, which will be ridiculous. So that's Blight. Anybody wanted to take a look at it? Go ahead. That's what I came up for Blight. Thank you for the likes on the YouTube stream. I appreciate that. So there's that. Now we do Sever. And for Sever, we didn't go overpower. Makes sense. Okay. New. And we will put this real quick. And we'll save this one as Sever. Probably that. Who cats? Boop, 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 boop. I'm excited for tomorrow, yes. Absolutely. Topaz, Topaz. Now we have to start getting into some interesting questions. Do we do Bloodless Scream boots? Or, I'm sorry, gloves. How many aspects do I need? I need Reaping Lotus, I need Grasping Veins, I need Damned, I need Sacrificial. That sounds like a no. So then I'm dropping Blood Moon Breaches. Yes. Oh, fuck. Lidless Wall. I forgot about Lidless Wall. Oh, shit. Oh, Snagglepuss. I mean, yeah, we got it, right? 80% damage multi, and then 5 1.2s. If they let us keep Lidless Wall? I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't. Lidless Wall. Lidless Wall into build. And now for our build, what do we care about for Lidless Wall? Oh, I just realized, like, putting this at the top doesn't really make sense because it's always 100. It's always the max roll. It doesn't. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay. Bloodless Scream. For Sweeten. Darkness skills, actually? Hell yeah, brother. Yo, thank you very much, Ava. Ava, I know you were looking at some stuff. Does the rogue have anything like lidless wall where... So basically how this works is if we run Bone Storm, we can have 5 Bone Storms, and each Bone Storm gives us a new 20% damage multiplier if we do crit damage. So it just means that any build that can crit will run this Chaos Unique because 1.5 or 1.2 to the 5 is incredibly strong. So like the entirety of our class is now Bone Storm if you can crit. Is there a Chaos Unique like that for Rogue? Where you just are running this ultimate skill and you are running this item? Am I going to try that Bone Storm Tornado build? I already did it in Season 10 in the PTR. I posted about it, actually a lot. I posted about Bone Storm a lot. Chaos Uniques are extremely tame for you. Huh. Oh, you know what? I know, vaguely remember that. My major thing, though, for Daddy, is that I don't see a world where Alter the Balance hits live in the way that it was on the PTR because the game was literally unplayable. And I don't mean it was too strong. In fact, it wasn't even as strong as alternatives. The game didn't work. You could not play the game because it immediately froze your entire server. So it just like... won't, so it can't. So there's going to be some difference, like there's going to be a cap on the number of them that you can cast or something. Like there's just no universe where they release this season because it won't work and then they will have to fix it. Titans Fall. Boop. Boop, boop. And crit damage. Alright. Boop, boop. And Reaping Loader. And then, yeah, I guess we're doing a lot of Tam Watt. A lot of Tam Watt in the building. Most of our impactful uniques are on the left side already. Well, that still means that you're going to want them as chaos uniques, right? Even if they're on the left side, they could be in a different slot on the left side. When you add the star and the greater affix, we should look for that on the item. Yeah, that is the recommended best in slot greater affix for the build. Assuming that you will 12 out of 12 masterwork your gear, only masterwork crit twice on the best slot, on the best stat, and that you would only expect to find one GA item. You can have better gear, I just don't expect that you're going to get it, because I don't expect me to get it. So we make our build guides so that the build is optimal for people to have realistic gear in. Did I braid little skulls into my hair? No, I did not braid little skulls. These are a cool like ear cuff that I picked up at the Renaissance Fair. Hold on. Oh. And I got them for one of my LARP characters, and I really like them. Yeah, they're fucking, dude. So like, I'm walking around a major Massachusetts city, just looking like this dude. Like I got the I'm getting old ponytail, and I'm in like jorts with some Nike Cortez on, and like a graphic tee from Express. Just looking like a real mook, you know what I mean? And then I got these on, and people are just like, homie, I don't... What's the vibe? And I'm like, what's the vibe? Peak. I've peaked. This is peak now. That's it. That's the end of it. It's just a cool little accoutrement, and it makes me look cool. Nick Floyd, thank you for the follow. And then I go about my business. Oh, I just realized something. Boat. What? Where did my entire fucking character go? Just say, hey, thank you, only one. I appreciate that, man. What up, Evangelion? Evangelion, what's going on? Who's this suave corsair on screen? That's a great question. I'm having a little bit of a where the fuck did my build go? Hello. This is here, where I left it. Where did Blight go? It would be bothering you too much with the dangling back and forth. So you're not wrong. Where did the fuck? It's okay. Where? All right, let's do Blight again. Real quick. Real quick, everybody. Quick. Quickity quick. Or I'm, hear me out, going to scream. Bro. Where the do I have Barbarian builds? I don't, but Max Roll does. What happened to the character? Joe no sé. Yo no sé. Bro, okay. Don't like the way it feels on your skin? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, that point. Yeah, so I had to get used to it a little bit. The thing that's kind of fun is I'm like big into ASMR. I love ASMR. When I'm not in front of a camera, I just have an ASMR video going 100% of the time. And being able to, with the move of my head, hear a noise that I like because I like the thing, helps to keep my attention. Usually follow Ecliptus for Barbarian. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Ecliptus is great. I like the guy. I was actually on his podcast. I think it was like he launched his podcast with my interview, which is very cool. I do think that we have like the best of the best barbarians on Maxroll. I think we have the best of the best of everybody because luckily we just get to have the biggest team. And if you haven't checked out our build guides on Maxroll, I would highly recommend them. Because I think they cover everything you could ever possibly want to know about a build. You want to see the ears? Here you go. Ah. So it's like a little ear cuff. This just goes right on top, and it's got these little guys. And they're just like cool. They're just little resin cast and glass beads. Oh, I think I have these on backwards. Hold on. I do. Yeah, and then they just sit right here. I wear them as one of my characters at Alert, and then I was like, wait a minute. These are awesome, and I can wear them all the time if I want to. My ASMR is having your vids on? Thank you. I appreciate that. That's something I like a little bit strive for. This is going to sound interesting, I think. But I think that one of the routes to success, especially for YouTube, is having videos that people can fall asleep to. And I noticed that I get a lot better reception on my videos while I'm definitely excited, right? But the video itself doesn't have like a lot of loud noise to it and doesn't have like a lot. It's not very like sonically chaotic. I like Maxroll, but they don't have options where you have legendary items only. Yeah, of course we do. All of our build guides do. Our build guides cover you from beginning to end for every single build that you would want to play. So here's our current Blight Necromancer. If you've never seen this, by the way, here, right up here, it shows you the progression of your gear from starter all the way up to pit pushing. If you ever want, you can actually just click that, and it brings you straight into the build planner right here. And then down here in the build variants, we'll actually explain how the gear progresses and what's important and what to look out for and whether or not stats are important or whether or not you're finding like suboptimal items and things that you can move around. Yeah, we cover everything. Like I know I'm biased. I understand that because this is a product that I helped to make. I think our build guides are second to none. Nobody puts this much time and energy into their build guides. It's like not even close. Not everybody wants all this information. A lot of people just want this information, and that's perfectly fine, but we include all of it. Please go read these. We put a lot of time and effort into writing them. But yeah, we include like everything you can think of. Like our Paragon boards take you from the beginning all the way to the end, through the different ranks of glyphs, how you optimize. Yeah. You and Noodle? Yeah, my boy Noodle. He's been putting out videos, like recently. He was covering Sork in this past season. Yo, thank you, Potatoes. Like, there are a ton of smart people out there making build guides for the other sites, no question. I work with a lot of them a lot of the time. Really, really cool community of people. But the build guides themselves, bro, ain't nobody got shit on us. It's also why it quite literally takes us longer to, like, put out and update the guides. Is the, like, amount of information that we have to include in them. Oh, I came up with something nifty here. What did I come up with? Obviously shadow damage over time, but what was the other one? Oh, blight size for the multi. Somebody fall asleep to audiobooks? Oh, yeah. That's that good. That's that good right here. I am so upset that I'm about to redo this entire Paragon. Oh, I just remembered I have to do that. I'm glad that they helped Charmed. Oh boy, howdy. Oh, wowie caboodles. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Damage over time, and I guess ultimate cooldown. Sacrificial. There's a skull. Dude, I don't want to redo this Paragon! It's okay. Do we have an app? We do not have an app-specific website, no. Sever OP now? No, actually, Sever is like weaker than Blight. It's kind of funny. It might come out a bit stronger than Blight once they fix Lidless Wall and we can actually gain the benefits of it. That is definitely one of the options. Oh, I don't need this actually. Boop. 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 Mm-hmm. Here we go. Oh, what up, Goku? Thank you. Don't know if I would do if this site didn't exist. I'm really proud of the work that we do on the site, and I'm glad that it can help so many people. Right? Nobody likes to feel like they're just screaming off into the void, but once people like know everything that's available on the site and how it all works and how they can get the most out of it, I feel like a lot of people have a really, really good experience using our site. And I'm pretty proud of that. You know, I started with max roll from Diablo 2. And getting to work with the people and help figure out what this site even looks like has been a really, really cool experience for me. Bingo card for tomorrow. That's a good question. Bingo card for tomorrow. Alter the balance is going to be different. There's no two ways around it. I would see either the numbers on Chaos Uniques lowered or more Uniques added to the pool, because there's a severe lack of some of them. Like, Blood builds don't have any Chaos Uniques for the Necromancer, as an example. How the fuck is that the case? You know, Death Speaker's Amulet doesn't count. How do you even count the damage and make all those builds? I had like 4K hours in Diablo 4. And that's not even on the crazy end of how many hours you could have in this game. But I mean, all of our guide writers have been playing the game. The original core of our writers, like the original people who were writing for Diablo 4, before we added on all 19 of the people that we brought on, like the crazy amount of people that we brought on, all had multiple hundreds of hours of the game logged before the game even came out. So it's just play the game a lot, understand how it works, stay current on how it works, participate in the community at large too. You know, it's very easy to end up in like a little circle where you think that you know everything, and then you go and you meet one other person, and all of a sudden you find out you don't. So, you know, participating in the Sanctuary Discord, we've gotten so many people who either originally wrote for other sites or, you know, were, you know, like build creators in the community but don't necessarily have like an online presence, and just continuously tapping in and seeing like what is everybody doing, you know, how can we optimize that, and how are people optimizing ways that we haven't thought of. Any changes that I can talk about from the IGN buyout? Nothing has changed with our structure from the IGN buyout. And we're owned by the parent company that we're... IGN is the big name. We are not owned by IGN. We're owned by the people who own IGN. But yeah, nothing has changed with our structure at all. Like, nothing has changed in how we do anything, now that I think about it. It's just the original people who owned the site didn't want to be site owners and runners anymore. They wanted to be pursuing other things, which is pretty exciting because they were getting very tired. The live stream, has it been delayed? Nope, it's tomorrow. It's the same time it was going to be tomorrow. Will Bone Spear be S tier like Season 8 or better? It depends. Bone Spear had a really good showing, so Bone Spear did 113 plus. So whether or not that's S tier depends on what every other, you know, class ends up doing. But it's doing over Pit tier 110 for sure. Fair and kind of the dream? Kind of the dream, yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously there are concerns whenever, you know, who you're working for. You know, we're contracted, right? I'm not an employee of Maxroll. I do contract work with them. And if that didn't really... If I didn't like what was going to be happening, I just would not continue to do contracted work with Maxroll, or we would have to come up with something different. But luckily, that's just not the case. Legit. I'm doing the same things. Nobody is different or like coming in telling us how we have to do stuff. They're like, hey, you guys are making the best Diablo 4 guides? Nice. Keep doing that. And we're like, okay. Can do. Obelix is bad. I'm not particularly interested in having other sites or other creators ever critiqued in my space, so please don't do that. I think that there's a difference between doing something really well and putting down other people, which I'm never looking to do. I think you can be proud of what you do, and you can believe that the thing that you're doing is the best without other people having to diminish their value or to be less than. I know a lot of the people who work for Mobalytics. I think a lot of them are incredibly smart people. I work with them a lot. I'm just very proud of the website that we have, not a comparison with somebody else's website. I don't say bad because of the builds, but for the app overall, that app is developed by a person. I think it's really important to talk about things in a way that identifies the root of the statement. This thing is not inherently bad. I dislike it. These are two very different statements. I don't like chocolate ice cream. I don't think chocolate ice cream is bad. There's that. There is Wither. Wowie. No, I appreciate you respecting that, Lycos. Thank you. Like, I'm not your dad, right? I'm trying to make sure that the space that I create here and the community that I have here is never a place where another person walks in and goes, "Oh, you've been shit-talking me." Yeah. That's what I got. Macro is my dad. Please no. Please, son. No. This does change something, because I realized I put the wrong glyph here, now that I think about it. I put a Bizzle there, so where do I put a Bizzle? Yeah, this actually kind of changes a bit. Hi, I'm MacroBioBoi. I'm your dad. I guess it's good that we came back here, then. Will Bone Spur be better than Season 8 or no? It depends on what better means in this context. If you were to take the current build and put it into that season, it will be doing less damage. But the game is now different because Overpower is different. So And also the power scale of everything is lower because during that season, things were approaching pit tier 150. So the build will be as fun to play and competitively strong. But sadly, the game is very different from Season 8 to this season. So, like... yeah. It's not a one-to-one comparison. Could just say forget everyone and enjoy the game, but y'all don't. Oh no, there's no controversy. Only one. I was explaining a boundary that I like to keep with my community with a person. That's not. It is just adults talking. You do not need to apologize. There's not a controversy. It is just a conversation which is occurring. Where am I putting these? I want Abyssal. Abyssal's very good. I just don't have a good board to put Abyssal in. And then I would want Scourge, but I don't really have a good board to put Scourge in. Frailty is a decent Scourge board. I would want... having to use Blood Begets Blood sucks so bad. Do you have Twitch? I do. Yeah, I stream on Twitch and YouTube. Behind the scenes view when you're build crafting. I'm glad that it can help to educate people. Fuck, what do I do here? Running this as a dex board kind of sucks, right? This is 14, 19... 425. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I run this as the dex board? Huh, hold on. Alright, let's try this. And then I just need one more dex. It's not really altogether that different there. This is Scourge. Thank you, Lycos. I'm a bee. So I can put Abyssal here. Scourge can stay here. Do I just usually? Yes, I only play the Necromancer. Technically speaking, I have 100 hours on the Barbarian. And I played like 6 hours of the Sorceress, and I've played 3 hours on the Druid. And then I have 4,000 hours on the Necromancer. I'm much more of like a systems... So I do the Necromancer. And then on top of that, I'm much more of like a systems-driven guy. So I like to try to explain the systems in the game rather than just the build guides. What build is my go-to for the Necro? It really depends on what comes up tomorrow. Like, one of the things I haven't revealed yet is that this is going to be the first season where I play solo self-found. So I need to have a good Infernal Hordes build. I just have to, if I want to be able to get everything. Which I normally don't care as much about, because I don't particularly like the Infernal Hordes. And I'm also going to be... like, the first day of the season is going to be a 24-hour stream. But I think I'm going to extend it. So not really doing like a subathon, because I have to leave that weekend. I have a LARP that weekend. But basically more of a... As long as people are supporting, I'm not going to end the stream until this day. And that's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to think of like little incentives and things, like we get to a certain point, I'll give myself a haircut on stream and stuff like that. So it needs to be a build that I enjoy and that will be good. So I won't be able to pivot very easily. And I'm not going to have like infinite gold, right? So even just rolling gear is going to be harder. How much money for me to stream me making Velveeta brownies and trying them? I think you got to ask yourself when you're doing something like this, is that content people really want to watch? And maybe the answer is yes. Maybe yes. Noodle, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in. Do I have merch? I do not currently have merch, no. Although I am going to be looking into it. But my typical starter is like Minions or Sever, because they're just very good all-around builds. Also, Minions, if you get a Chaos Ring of Mendelin, are just going to slap. They're going to be so good. Well, to start off. And Dario still gives you trouble? That, this is not to sound mean, probably comes down to skill. Like, learning the fight, learning when to Blood Mist, learning how to, like, start it off and avoid the things on the ground. The Necromancer, you, like, have to actually play the game, and that makes me sound a little bit like an elitist or a dick, but it's just, like, kind of true. Like, the Necromancer players just have to play the game harder to do as well as other characters in harder content, because our class kind of sucks. Just kind of bad at doing stuff. I don't have Blood Mist, so you should have Blood Mist. Fighting bosses is not the same thing as pit pushing. You should make the game easier for yourself when you're fighting bosses, because they're harder than doing the pit. So you should have Blood Mist on your skill bar. And if sometimes you do damage and sometimes you don't do damage, that means that you may have a fundamental misunderstanding of how Blood Wave does damage. It only does damage when it overpowers. To be able to overpower, you have to pick up the Blood Orbs. And you have to line up with your damage multipliers. So again, if you haven't read the Blood Wave build guide on Maxroll, I would highly recommend reading the skill rotation section. If you're ever playing a build and it's not quite working, check it out on Maxroll, because we have explained what you need to do. So I would recommend that. Yeah, so bosses no longer have phases, they gain a barrier, which is very interesting. I guess I'm doing Blood Begets Blood. I guess I'm doing Eliminator here. Okay. There's all of that. And here's random intelligence. Random intelligence. Random intelligence. Intelligence that makes me look like a lunatic. Random intelligence. Random intelligence. Random intelligence makes me look like a lunatic. Mac, why did you ever pick up that intelligence? Great question. Because I had to. There's nothing else interesting to pick up. Okay. So that's a save. Are we good? Okay. Is it true that we can only farm Chaos Armor in Helltides? No. Chaos Armor can drop from all content that can drop items. They have higher drop rates in places like the Infernal Hordes, and anywhere where like the Chaos Rifts happen. So they happen in the Helltide, they happen in Nightmare Dungeons as well. But no, you can gamble one. They can drop from anywhere where they can typically drop. They just have lower chances there and higher chances elsewhere. Just like Mythics? Yeah, just like Mythics. Save. Okay, so I've fixed Blight. Back to Sever. Nice. I'm gonna be critical strike damage. Corpse tendril size? Sacrificial. I'm gonna Am I from Lowell, Mass? No, I'm from Boston. Am I gonna get attack speed? I had a pretty Spanish accent. So the typical accent that I speak with doesn't really have altogether that much going for it, other than it just being like a generally educated, generic, United States English speaking accent, so that people can understand me and people can hear my articulation better. Go down to Revere Beach, kid. Get yourself some Kelly's roast beef. Etc., etc., etc. Rotary. Banga Yui. Wicked. Stuff like that. We also get 20% attack speed from Bone Storm. It's 87. That's kind of not enough. An attack speed potion. Sure. Pretty strong. That I had a Spanish accent. I sometimes speak in Spanish. That might have happened. I might have had a phrase that I like to say in Spanish. I don't remember. But no, I'm Italian. I'm also going to pick up some attack speed in my Paragon. I'm also going to pick up some crit chance in my Paragon. So, we would do max life here. A crit chance can be good. Oh, how am I doing? Vulnerable. Oh. Seva does vulnerable. That's how we're doing it. I'm gonna be. I guess ultimate cooldown doesn't really make sense. We're doing Bone Storm. Yeah, we're doing Bone Storm. How do I have more intelligence? I haven't done my Paragon yet. But no, I'm not from LoL. This is Grasping Veins. Italians, similar? It is. They have very different accents, though, right? So, like, ciao, mi chiamo Marco, mi chiamo Marco, come stai? You have, like, more of a bounce. A little bit more flourish in an Italian accent. I mean, when they're both angry, they sound basically the exact same, though. So they got that going for them, which is pretty nice. I haven't done my skill tree. Oh, hello. Oh, and oh, interesante. Well, we're gonna do the mod god. That kind of solves that. Drop one of these down to diamond. We kind of can't. Diamonds are forever. Put your diamonds in this guy if you feel. Damn. God damn it, Kanye West. Why do you have to suck? Somebody explain to me why Kanye West has to suck. Also, I want something a little vibier here.
In the case of nuclear or radiological fallout, people living around potential targets such as military bases and chemical plants may be advised to evacuate. Protection from radioactive fallout will require taking shelter in an underground area or in the middle of a large building. Fallout shelters can be any protected space where the walls and
That's a little bit vibier. Accelerating chaos, probably, right? There we go. I'm gonna drop that down a little bit. Accelerating chaos. We're also gonna have Rahir. Boop, boop. Take that away for a hot second. We do vulnerable here. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Da, 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 da. We don't have to do blood orbs. Pretty rad. And we do affliction. Affliction. Up that. Excuse me. We can put a saw. We can put a saw on him, why not? This is Bone Storm. There's this. I guess we do this. Kind of sucks. Blight. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. This is fine. Armor is a bit too much. We're going to pick up more. Res isn't high enough. We're going to pick up more. Sack that. Sack that. And sack that. E. Alright. Let me get up and stretch real quick. Also, my rug is all messed up. Give me a few minutes. I will run ads now. And I will be right back. Sorry about that. I was on a real journey. I was on a journey. I was on a journey. Okay. Let's just double check. Light's still here? All right, cool, man. Back to Sever. Why is it gone? What is happening? What is occurring? No, where the Whoa. I'm talking to the guy who makes our tool. Because I don't want to keep doing this if I can't successfully save the stuff. Light is loaded. Load stepper. Okay. Alright. I'm just gonna keep going forward and we're gonna hope. Okay. So for Sever, we get to use Scent of Death. So it's Scent of Death, Wither, Frailty, Flesh Eater. Which means that we get to do Abyssal or Sacrificial there. We get to do... Crit? Because what do we need? Gravekeeper, Abyssal, Eliminator, Gravekeeper. Eliminator, Gravekeeper. Scent to Death is our Eliminator. Flesh Eater can be our Abyssal. No, Flesh Eater is our Essence. Frailty can be our Abyssal. Wither. Wither is Abyssal. Okay. So, Scent of Death Eliminator. Abyssal on Wither. No. Wither sucks for us. Wither is like a really, really bad board for this build. Ugh. Hmm. Do I do Essence here? Eliminator. Gravekeeper, Abyssal. Sacrificial. Hmm. Hmm. And it's just like, and then Scent of Death. Terminator. There's that. Sure, Flesh Eater. What was I putting here? Eliminator, Abyssal, Gravekeeper, I guess. Sure. And then Frailty is sacrificial. Sacrificial. Yeah, Exploit is just so bad. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm loving it. Yeah, armor's through the roof. Res could be higher. So can this be res? Can be. Res is great. Crit chance is now at 100%. Attack speed. Oh, it's actually at 99.9, so that's good. Save that. And then, yeah, I don't have a lot of great boards here. It's just going to be a lot of intelligence, I guess. And grab that. I can grab that. Corpse attack speed, sure, why not? There's just literally nothing else to get. So, fudge me, right? That doesn't differently allow me to do anything. This does not differently allow me to do anything. Even like yeah, I was going to say, is there even enough intelligence for us to grab in the area? There kind of is. There's a ton here. Technically, because of that, it's the 2-point exit again. This is actually not the most efficient. Just drag this bad boy down here. Turn it. Click. Thank you. Boop, boop. And if that's the case... the same, but slightly better. Let's say if I value 7 willpower above 5 strength, and I technically do. Technically do. Like, not really. Damn, I had to get deep into these boards to be able to keep finding places to put stuff. That's wild. Yeah, I mean... what else are you gonna do? I don't really know. Okay, that's Sever. So that's Sever. Here you go. And now what's interesting about this is we can kind of take this build. How are we going to run Shadowblight? Like, Shadowblight looks a lot different depending on how things turn out. It's a Soul Rift build, but I don't think Soul Rift ends up looking like Soul Rift does. And if that's the case, does it become a Bone Storm build? Like, do I prepare Shadowblight assuming none of Alter the Balance works the way that it does currently? Maybe. Let's see. My boy O's. Oh, wow. Let's bring that really far down. And there's just like no way that there's no way this hits. Reaper's Pursuit. Where are you making blood orbs? not run... Hold on. Why aren't you running fleshy? What's up, Garm? How you doing, Bobo? It's been a while. Hope you've been well. But he picked up the potion. Is Imbiber ever it? Kingdom Come Deliverance? I've never actually played Kingdom Come Deliverance. Is it good? Are we all doing Imbiber? What's going on, East Fun? We're looking at the meta. Now we're at a 12% multi. We could be at a 15% multi. It's probably pretty easy to be around like 5 potions. But you need to drink the potions for the effect. So the issue is that like Soul Rift is never going to look anything like this. Like the whole build won't really look like, well, I guess it could. I don't see it looking like this. I assume there's going to be capped on how many ultimates you can have going simultaneously. Else the game doesn't work. Or maybe they only put caps on Bone Storm? I don't know. And then Bone Storm's bad? I guess we're using Imbiber. So here, Garm, in Season 10, they added Alter the Balance, which lets you spam ultimate skills as if they were core skills, where they have no cooldown, but they have a high cost, and we can manage the high cost very high. So this is not resetting Soul Rift, it's actually casting multiple overlapping Soul Rifts. Play the PTR. There's still like an upper limit to it. But this is overlapping multiple Soul Rifts. What does the build look like if you can't infinitely cast Soul Rifts that stack up to a very high amount? And are we using Imbiber? I don't hate Imbiber. It's just a little bit anti-synergistic with the Chaos power. Overlapping doesn't mean we can stack their damage? Yes, that's what overlapping means. But Soul Rift does peasant damage. We actually really don't care about the fact that it does. We don't care about how much damage it does. We just care about the fact that it does a lot of damage instances. Because each time that it drains a soul from each one of these overlaps, those are each a damage instance in addition to the damage over time that it deals. just noticed how absolutely crazy his mouse movement is. I have to prepare for this being the meta and then a little bit hope that it isn't. Reaper's Pursuit is wild. So let's think about that. Two, three, four, five. So we have 5. We have 5 skills. And normally Pursuit is 8 is a 40 versus $38. Which is $190. Pretty big. Now, is that better? Tendrils are unnecessary. I don't know if I agree that tendrils are unnecessary. Tendrils are very nice because, like, what's the difference, right? It's 228. So the difference is 3.28 divided by 2.9. So putting another darkness skill on your bar is equivalent to a 13% multiplier, which I argue is worth all the monsters being in one spot so they're actually standing on top of Blight as opposed to having to Blight continuously. Like, monsters being everywhere and not standing in a Blight pool is losing you a 10% damage multiplier. But I don't think you run Blood Begets Blood, you just do Flesh Eater. Blood Begets Blood is just such a bad board because it has no additive damage on it. The difference between one skill... The difference between 6 skills and 5 skills is a 13% damage multiplier. So if the monsters aren't standing on Blight, basically, this is like gaining 2% damage and having a worse time dealing with monsters. We don't care about the Blight for the ticks. I'm literally just talking about for the multiplier. You just want to minimize how often you're casting Blight. Like, do I think it's worth it to gain less than 3% damage and not have 100% uptime on a multiplier you could have. And having to cast the skill more often to not lose out on that damage. I think the answer is no. Because you could just be casting more skills that proc Shadow Blight more often. Don't we spam Blight? In this one? So, I feel like we're talking about two different universes. So, in current Shadow Blight, you don't spam Blight. No, you actually just do Corpse Explosion. In this version of it, you're spamming Soul Rift. Got bit by a bug. Oh. Jorbs dual streams to YouTube. I didn't know that.
We got
Also, if they fix Gloom, then Ebon Piercer becomes better. You lose out on attack speed. How much attack speed does he have? $94.9? Ow. How do you get so much attack speed? Fists of Fate. Yeah, let me just get GA Fists of Fate. Unlucky a chance and attack speed. Like, this so doesn't exist. It makes me angry. Not at O's, just at like how impossible it's going to be to gear shit. What do we have that isn't Bloodwave? Basically everything. Bone Spirit, Shattered Spirit, Bone Spirit, Soul Rift, Bone Spear, Light, Minions. Just not the blood skills. Yeah, and then GA attack speed with 2 crits on both skills, which is fine. But you have to be drinking an attack speed potion, right? This still doesn't get you there. 24. 54. $58. Wait, how are you at that much attack speed? $59. 81. 90. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's with potion. All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, so it's the and non-occupied slot, but the thing that I think it's very easy to do the math from the perspective of getting the correct item with the correct GA in the correct slot. One, in this regard, each one of these could each be in a different slot, other than Fists of Fate, but even then, normal Fists of Fate are fine. So, like, this Ebon Piercer could have been gloves, it could have been boots, or could have been pants. And the Lilith's Wall, similar, and even the Fists of Fate, similar, right? So it's like, will you, the person, be fighting to figure out whether or not should people expect to even approach this? No. Does that mean that, like, the drop rates need to be, like, changed or that it's bad? Also, no. Not that you're saying that, but it's also like, yeah, do you want the perfect GA? Sure, you also want perfect triple masterwork crits. But one, it's very unrealistic to expect to get that. And only like 5 people at the top of the helltides.com care about that at all. Right? But like, if you get your chaos unique and it just rolled a decent stats, you would still take it even if it doesn't have the perfect GA. What's going on here now? I'm trying to project what Shadowblight will look like, assuming things will be different about Alter the Balance, and like try to arrive at a reasonable thing. And it's hard. They are barely armor capped. Ba 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 da 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 da. This is all with Gloom not working. Which is very interesting. Season 10, call this Shadow Blight. Necromancer. Okay, so for Shadow Blight, a couple things change. You remove this point. You don't want the 5 rank bonus. This obviously changes. That'll stay the same. That stays the same. I'm not doing this. Just, you know. What up, Alric? People are going to find incredibly powerful gear and just put it on and just be very powerful. The 8 people who care about pushing the highest pit tier are going to be frustrated with not being able to get perfect gear. They are going to cry. They are wrong. Well, they're not wrong. They can experience their frustration. It's just, this is a byproduct of what this system offers. And I don't think that enough people will recognize and appreciate that it's good that there's incredibly chase gear and that getting a perfect character is probably going to take more than 3 days. I mean, it can be armor. That's fine. So, Ebon Piercer. Lidless Wall. Sure. Fists of Fate. I kind of really hate Fists of Fate. They're technically best in slot. I just hate how variable they make the output. Also, I have one more point. Oh, also Imbiber, I guess. Like, we have to think about Imbiber a lot. I think Imbiber only makes sense in pit pushing. What up, Saint Knight? Welcome back. So Imbiber. Imbiber's new thing is that per potion that you've consumed, you deal 3% damage. So when you're at 0 out of 10 potions, you have a 30% damage multiplier. Clearly, the biggest multiplier. Now the question is, how long can you stay at 0 potions? One, you have to get down there, and most people are going to be using the brew power, which says that your potions now have a 10-second cooldown. And people are going to want to drink their potion all the time. To get its benefits, which is 80% attack speed. But you basically get the full benefit of that while you're drinking through your potion. So for the first like 2 minutes of the pit, Imbiber actually sucks. And then every pack you have to drink potions more, which is kind of fine. Once you're down to 5 potions, it's kind of easy to keep it there. It's just for all other content. One, it's a willpower node, which is just kind of like not good. It's a 12.2. Once you're down 3 potions, it's better than other ones. Okay. Now I need to fit Imbiber and everything. Kind of answers the question of what do you do if blood begets blood. It's interesting. about on Sever, though? That can't be true. That can't be true. For soul brand enjoyers. Yeah, I mean, they technically exist. What is this? Oh, I copied over Blight. Fudge crackers. Oh, buddy. I'm gonna lose my brain. Oh boy. I can't do what I'm doing if it won't save my profile. Oh, cool, man. Okay. The web devs are looking at it. I don't just want to keep saving over it. Oh boy. Oh boy, howdy. Well, I don't just want to sit here and do this in circles and then have my progress not save. Just like give them a little bit. Yeah, the Bone Storm build. So the reason why I didn't recommend the Bone Storm build, I don't see alter the balance. One, the Bone Storm build looks pretty cool, except it's physically unplayable. You literally cannot play the game. You crash the server the moment that you get up to like 10 of them. So it's an unplayable build. And I assume something's going to be different about it. And if I had to like guess, there would be a limit to how many you could have. And the moment that you put a limit on it, it's now trash, like unusably bad trash. So I don't know what it could look like. There's the other issue that just doesn't work with Lidless Wall. Like it doesn't give you the damage bonus from Lidless Wall. And Lidless Wall doesn't work if you have it, which is weird. But no, there's no way to... So Bone Storm itself does piss ant damage. It does such bad low damage. It's so heinously bad. Even if you could have like 20 going on the screen... If you could have like 20 overlapping, then you start to kind of get somewhere damage-wise. But the issue with Bone Storm is that Bone Storm doesn't have a damage scaling aspect. You'll notice that a lot of the issues with a lot of different skills is that they don't have a damage scaling aspect. So like Bloodlance has Blood Seekers, which is like fine. Blood Surge has Blood Bathed, which is actually nowadays like really not even that good, considering the majority of your damage actually comes from the number of drains on the target, which is kind of funny. Or rather, they're like 50-50. Blight didn't have a damage scaling aspect forever, and now it does, but you have to use Bone Prison with it, which is like kind of okay. But it really like begs the question, why do I have to use Bone Prison with it? They gave Bone Spear a damage scaling aspect. You got to use Bone Prison with it. A lot of Bone Prison adjacent aspects that they kind of shoehorned in there. But Shadow Blight has 2 damage scaling aspects. So that one's really good. That one's like really, really strong. Bloodwave has a damage scaling aspect that says like more than triple its damage. Very, very good. Sever has a damage scaling aspect that says multiply its damage by 8. Very good. Isn't that so funny? Like, Sever got an aspect that says multiply your damage by 8. Blight got an aspect that says multiply your damage by 1.6. Well, 2.2 on a 2-hander. And like, Blight's already falling off now that Overpower has been nerfed. None of the weak skills got compensated enough. What about a Shadow Blight build using Bone Storms? Strictly worse than Soul Rift in every way. Each Bone Storm hits a target twice per second. Soul Rift hits each target like 5 times per second. Minimum? No, even more than that. So, base Soul Rift hits a target 3 times per second. Base Bone Storm hits a target 2 times per second. Ultimate Shadow, an aspect which now allows it to do shadow damage, doubles how often it hits the targets now, up to 4 times per second. But the Soul Rift build doesn't have to use an aspect to be able to do that. Or you could be casting Corpse Explosion, which also hits a target 2 times per second, but you can cast like 25% faster than Bone Storm. And they also already stack natively, and you don't need an aspect. So they're actually hitting a target like 2.5 times per second. And then you get to put on a 50% damage aspect. So no, Bone Storm doesn't really serve Shadow Blight well because there are strictly better options that don't require as much investment. And in the world where we still have Alter the Balance, the Soul Rift now does damage every time it drains a soul from the target. So it is now just better because it drains souls 4 times per second. So it itself is already hitting a target 6 times per second. Bone Storm just kind of sucks. It's like fine, except in comparison to everything else, it's worse. Like even on the PTR where Bone Storm was like crazy. Bone Storm did 116 and Shadow Blight did 120 plus. So Will Alter the Balance be used in the top builds? Yeah. Alter the Balance is how Shadow Blight does what it does. But I assume Alter the Balance is going to be changed. Does everybody... I think everybody uses Imbiber. Yeah. Sorry, I can't really do anything in the planner until I know why it's not saving. So I'm waiting on the web devs to maybe give me some insight. So I'm trying to figure out what I do with my time. Maybe I just wait till tomorrow to do this. But if I'm not doing this, like, what am I doing? Killing my motivation quite a bit. Damn, homie, you almost just died. The idea Blood begets blood because you won't have potions. If you're going to be using the blood orbs to offset it anyways, you got to do blood begets blood. So for 11 minutes, you're at a 1.5, and then for 4 minutes, you're at a... Auto 1.2. I'm gonna do Flesh Eater. I'm not doing Blood Begets Blood. So, what do in the land of what do in the land of I don't think I can work in my build planner right now. Call it an early stream and get work done around the house? Ooh, that's tempting. That's tempting. That is very tempting, actually. That is a big maybe for me. I think that's what we're gonna do. I think that's what we're gonna do. Ugh. Who's streaming? Yeah, let's go raid Panda. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna call it early. There's no point in me fighting against it if I can't make that work. Go hang out with Panda. And then tomorrow we'll do the breakdown of the patch notes, do a lot of calculations, do a lot of theory crafting, figure out what the changes mean, and then start from there. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate you being here. Sorry that we have to end it, but if I can't do my work, I kind of don't have anything to stream about today. I don't just want to like go play a day of Path of Exile and then go straight back to D4. Doesn't really do much for me. Alrighty, y'all. Let's go hang out with Panda. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. As always, fuck the bourgeoisie. And the working class need to stick together. And it's not left first right. It's up first down. Don't believe the psyop. I appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Cheers. Ciao. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Arrivederci. Sayonara so long. Kapun krap. Sawadi. Gute Nacht. Bye-bye. Cheers.